Halloween all year long. My name is Lauren. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I am really excited for today's vlog. Summer is winding down, at least for me anyways. I am a high school history teacher, so for me, fall kind of begins when fall semester starts. So this vlog is kind of my goodbye letter to summer 2022, and I thought there's no better way to say goodbye to one of my favorite seasons of the year than through reading a book that kind of fits the theme of summer, but also really reflects my favorite thing, which is horror, which is why I'm so excited to read this iconic horror story, Jaws. I have the book right here. So I actually didn't even know that the film Jaws was originally a book that was adapted by Steven Spielberg. Jaws is broken into 3 parts. My goal is to read 1 part each day for the next 3 days. And then as I'm going through that, sprinkle in the Jaws movie, shark documentaries, podcasts about sharks. I also want to make sure I'm also doing a lot of fun things I haven't done yet this summer. Like I haven't spent any time at the pool, any time at a beach, so I really want to remedy that this week. I watched this movie when I was probably too young, and I think that created this not a huge, but like a significant enough fear of water. Even to this day, it's really challenging for me to be in large bodies of water without thinking in the back of my head, like, are there sharks around? Are they in the vicinity? I think this book is really deeply instilled within my psyche, and I didn't even know it was a book, and I first experienced it as a movie, which I think most of us have. This vlog won't have any spoilers in it. Anybody can enjoy watching this vlog. So now that you know what we're doing this week, let's get tropical and just try to really savor summer while we still have it. I am a third of the way through and the bodies are piling up. So the opening chapter is the opening scene in the Jaws movie. Reading it on paper is a whole different experience. The tone is definitely set in that first chapter. It is a horror novel, it is creepy. The wife's characterization is also significantly different in this, so she actually plays a huger role in the story. I don't know why I was so surprised to be enjoying this book. I guess I think that books that are older, because this did come out in the early 70s, I think that older books are stale or boring or lack good and decent pacing. Also, I wanted to point these candies out that I got because I knew I wanted to do this reading vlog, and they're like little cherry flavored shark teeth. I'm a sucker for a good theme. And I will touch base with you all soon once I've read part 2. Check-in. I finished part 2 of Jaws. I also watched Jaws, and I have watched a few shark documentaries, one of which I'll mention is a Nat Geo documentary that is hosted by Chris Hemsworth. I really liked watching that because he went into a lot of issues that were plaguing both humans and also the shark community in Australia, which is where he's from. And he also went diving, not cage diving, but like actual scuba diving with sharks in this very secluded area with a very famous female conservationist. She's super iconic. She's kind of like the David Attenborough of the shark conservationist scene in the 70s, diving with sharks, which is super cool to see a woman being a part of that environmental movement and learning about that. And I think what I took away from that documentary is that sharks aren't as menacing as they are portrayed on screen or in books. So part 2 of this book is basically all about the politics of this town. There wasn't a lot of action in part 2. The shark itself did not have a lot of time or a lot of moments here. It's all about the politics of the town. People are very unhappy that the beaches are closed. The chief of police, Matt Brody, is trying to do the best that he can for the town. However, there are a lot of people like the mayor who are not so happy on the beaches being closed. Another huge part of part 2 that I did not really care for was the romance. And I struggle even to characterize it as a romance because it's very unsettling and it's not a part I like about this book at all. I don't even think that the people in that romance are very interested in the other person. I'm gonna start part 3 today, and I hope that there's more appearances by the shark, which they refer to as the fish, which I find funny because sharks are fish, but they definitely don't feel like fish just because we have these images in our minds as them being bloodthirsty sharks. I have the third and final part that I'm starting today and going to wrap up. I'm gonna spend some time at the beach, get in some beach time before summer ends, and hopefully I get to see some shark sightings. Not at the beach, but in the book. Report that the third and final part of this book is far more interesting than the middle section was. I finished this book about a day ago, so I have had some time for my thoughts on this book to simmer. So I like part 1 the best because I really do feel like we got a lot of moments with what they refer to as the fish, which is the shark. The second part of the book was really focused on a specific romance that I will keep my information that I share about that to a minimum because I really do feel like if you're going to be reading this book, it's really to think about the ways that it diverges from the plot of the movies. I was very pleasantly surprised about how things turned around in the third part because, as I mentioned before, I did not really care for the second part of the book that was really fixating on developing this romance that I just really didn't care for. Part 3 of this book turned things around and it gave you the action that part 2 really was missing. The plot of this book is different in many ways to the movie that you probably have watched and loved. You have similarities in the sense that people are going out to sea to try to kill this monster of a shark, and the ways that this book ends are quite different than how the movie's ending is. It was cool to experience the best parts of the movie while also having a very different experience. So would I say that the book is better than the film? I would say no. The movie is definitely much more action-packed, and I love the ways that they characterized the chief of police, Brody, in the film versus in this book here. I like the characterization of the wife much better in the movie than in the book because she does play a bigger role in this book, but she isn't an appealing character in the story. I would rate this book probably a 3, maybe a 3.5, because it does have all the really great parts of the movie, except the movie has more action, has better characterization. The characters are portrayed in definitely more interesting and sympathetic way than they are in the book here. I don't think people are missing out on anything if they haven't picked this book up yet, but if you're a huge fan of the movie, I think this would be really cool for you to be able to experience the original form of this story and see the ways in which it is so different than the film itself. The whole economic consequence of all of this shows up in small ways in the movie, but they are kind of more elaborated on in here. So if you're really interested in getting to know the backstory on characters that make brief appearances in the movie and thinking about the larger context upon which the shark attacks were impacting the Amity residents, then I think you should pick up this book. You'd really enjoy it because there are those moments of horror, but they are far few in between. So overall, to conclude things, I had a really great time reading this book. Things are changing, the summer vibes are winding down over here in these parts, but I will always think back to the summer when I think about Jaws, getting to have this experience. That's the best part about this channel, is getting to have so much fun with my hobbies, with things that I love, my passions, and getting to kind of amplify them through these kind of videos. Definitely leave a comment below if you've ever read or watched Jaws. What are your thoughts on that? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel on your way out, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!